Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to get to the heart of a topic that has seen some absolutely incredible scientific progress over the last few decades: HIV. Our goal here is to really break down what this virus is, how it actually works inside the body, and the powerful tools we now have to fight it.
You know, it all really boils down to one central question, almost like a biological puzzle. How in the world can one microscopic virus, something so tiny, manage to outmaneuver the incredibly complex and powerful defense system that is the human body? Well, to answer that, we have to understand its battle plan.
So, first things first, let's meet the invader at the very center of this story, the virus itself. Because understanding what it is the key to understanding everything else. At its core, HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. And honestly, its name tells you pretty much everything you need to know. It's a virus that specifically targets and weakens the very system that's designed to protect us from getting sick, our immune system. And if it's left untreated, this attack can eventually lead to a condition called AIDS.
It helps to think of this virus as having a single, relentless mission: to find the command and control center of the immune system and take it over from the inside. It's a specialist, you know? An infiltrator that's designed for one very specific target.
Okay, so that's the mission. But how does that one little goal turn into a full-blown attack? Let's take a look at how this siege on our body's defenses actually plays out.
To really get this, you have to know about the immune system's most important players, the CD4 cells. Think of them as the generals of your body's army. These are the cells that identify invaders and then coordinate the entire defensive response, telling all the other immune cells what to do and where to go. And that is exactly why HIV goes after them.
And this is where you can really see the impact. I mean, look at the difference here. On the left, you've got a healthy immune system with a ton of these CD4 generals. The body's fortress is secure, it's well defended. But on the right, with untreated HIV, those generals are being systematically taken out. The fortress walls start to crumble, and that leaves the body wide open to other infections.
So how does it pull off this hijacking? It's this incredibly precise four-step process. First, you've got infiltration. The virus finds and latches onto a CD4 cell, kind of like a key fitting a specific lock. Second, the takeover. It injects its own genetic code right into the cell. Then, replication. It literally reprograms that general, turning it into a virus factory with only one job: to pump out thousands of new copies of HIV. And finally, spread. Those new viruses burst out, ready to hunt down and hijack even more CD4 cells, and the cycle just keeps going.
And this chart? Well, it shows you exactly what happens as a result. You can see what happens to the number of those CD4 cells over time, if the virus is just left to do its thing. You start out with a high count, but over the years, that number just drops and drops and drops until the immune system is critically weak.
But, and this is a huge but, this is not a story of defeat. Not at all. This is where science and modern medicine ride in, basically calling in the reinforcements.
And those reinforcements? They're called Antiretroviral Therapy, or just ART for short. This isn't just one medication. It's a powerful combination of medicines that stops that hijacking process right in its tracks. And that word, combination, is so important. Different drugs attack different parts of the virus's life cycle, which is what makes ART so incredibly effective.
Now, it's really important to get this. ART is not a cure. The virus is still in the body, but what it does is it suppresses the virus, pushes it down to such low levels that it just can't attack the immune system anymore. It basically stops the siege, and that gives the body's defenses a chance to regroup, recover, and rebuild their numbers. This all leads us to one of the single most important breakthroughs in the entire history of HIV. It's a simple little equation with a massive, life-changing meaning. U equals U. U equals U stands for undetectable equals untransmittable. And as this quote from the CDC makes crystal clear, when ART gets the virus so low in the blood that it's undetectable on a standard test, that person cannot sexually transmit HIV to a partner. This is a game-changing, scientific fact. It has completely transformed not just physical health, but the social stigma around HIV too.
Okay, so we know how treatment can control the virus. So the next logical question is, how do we secure the defenses from the very beginning? Let's talk prevention.
Today, we have a whole toolkit of super effective prevention strategies. We're talking about things like using condoms consistently, getting tested for HIV regularly so you know your status, and a medication called PrEP. That stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a pill someone who is HIV negative can take to dramatically lower their risk of getting the virus. And of course, as we just talked about, treatment as prevention. Yep, U equals U is an amazing prevention tool all on its own.
You know, when you look at a timeline like this, it really puts the speed of progress into perspective. It is just staggering. From identifying the virus in the early 80s, to developing highly effective ART by the mid-90s, to getting PrEP approved in 2012, and now having U equals U as a global scientific fact, it's just a remarkable, remarkable journey in just a few decades.
And that brings us right here, to today, and of course, to the future. With science moving this fast and our understanding of this virus getting deeper every single day, it leaves us with a pretty exciting question, doesn't it? What breakthroughs, what new chapters, are just waiting to be written in the ongoing story of HIV?